Hello everybody. Today we are going to talk about lesson 105, and that lesson is focused on surface area of a right solid and surface area of a sphere. Did you know that this skill is used by manufacturers? They use surface area to determine how much material they need to create the packaging for our cereal and other products needed. Any kind of product that you buy that's in a box or any kind of a container, they use the whole concept of surface area to figure out how to plan for the materials that they need, and then they use it to figure out how much packaging material as far as their covering material, you know, the advertisement material too. Most of it these days is done on computer, but in the old days they used to lay it out on a piece of paper and figure it out. So, but this is used a little bit more, it's more computerized nowadays. Surface area is really not that very complicated. It involves finding the area of every surface of the object. If you can find the area of a square, rectangle, circle, and triangle, you can find surface area. Usually, if you have a rectangular shape, and we're talking about mostly like cereal boxes, things like that, it's going to have the following. It's going to have a top and a bottom, which will be exactly the same, two shorter sides and two longer sides. And I've drawn a net here for you to see, and this net is for a rectangular prism. I would like you to draw it yourself and put it into your notes and put in the measurements. This is a bottom and a top. This is the sides that come up and the ends that come up, and then this top folds over the top. To find the surface area of this particular shape, you would find the surface area of the bottom and the top. They'd be the same, so you'd take 2 times 12 times 4 because they're rectangular. Then you would find the surface area, you'd find the area of the sides. Each of the sides is 12 by 3, and you take that times 2 because there's 2 of them. And then you would find the surface area of the end pieces that fold up, and they're 4 by 3, and you multiply those times 2. Okay? And of course the works down here, you could see that start with 2 times 48 is 96, 2 times 36 is 72, and 2 times 12 is 24. When you add that all together, it would be 192 square units, and that would be enough to cover that box or to create that box. Okay, the next net that we're going to look at and shape we're going to look at is a triangular prism. This is the triangular prism itself. This is its net. Now, there are different nets that go with triangular prisms. You can draw them different ways. I like this way of drawing it because you can see this pink side folds up, this side folds up, and then these are the other 2 sides. Okay. Also, it's pretty easy to figure out the surface area this way because you can see the different shapes. You've got 2 triangles, so you have 2 times base times height divided by 2. You've got this larger piece down here, this green piece. That's not a base, but it corresponds with this longer part of the triangular prism. And then you have the sides that come up to the point, and that's these 2 right here. I laughed yesterday because I was looking at this. If you turn it sideways, it kind of looks like a rat or a mouse. All he needs is his little whiskers, and there's his ears. I know, a little bit of math humor there. Okay, for finding the area of the bases, you've got triangles, so it's 1/2 base times height. Finding the larger rectangle is going to be length times width, and the 2 smaller rectangles is also length times width. Okay, so this is just explaining the 2 bases are triangles, a rectangular side, and the 2 smaller rectangular sides. Here's the total surface area you take for the triangles. We'll look at that. For the triangles, you have 1/2 12 times 2. Okay, so 12 is 3 times 4. Your base, 3 times 4. 1/2 3 times 4 times 2. And that's going to give you 12. And then you have 1 at 3 times 5, and that will give you 15. And then you have 2 at 3 times 4, and that's going to give you 24. It gives you 24 units. Okay, let's take a look at a cube. Now, when you're looking at a cube, you have to remember there's some really special things about cubes. A cube has 6 sides, and every single side is exactly the same. So if you know the measurement of one face of a cube, you know the measurement of all faces of a cube. So if you knew the measurement of a cube was 5, one edge was 5, you know all the edges are 5. If you know one edge is 10, you know all the edges are 10. So in any case, if you're looking for the surface area of a cube, you would just take 6, which is the number of sides, times the area of one side. Side squared, S times S, side times side. So you go 5 times 5, that's 25, 6 times 25 is 150. Basically, you have to be able to, when you're looking at surface area, you have to be able to take a figure apart in your mind and lay it flat. And see what each side looks like, be able to look at it in your mind, and then be able to figure out, okay, what am I missing, what sides have what dimensions. It does take a little bit, but it's not that hard. You can do it, it just takes a little time. Now we're going to look a little bit at a cylinder. Cylinders are, of course, what you get your canned vegetables in. Some of your pop comes in a cylinder, the smaller cans. Tuna cans are cylinders. They're short, but they're still cylinders. Okay. A cylinder has 2 major components. It has the top and the bottom, which is a circle, and then it has the side, which is a rectangle. So top, bottom, side. Side goes all the way around. The side looks like a rectangle. Here's the bottom and the top. Now, you need to know that the top or the bottom, it has circumference. Okay? Now, once you find the area of the top, that's pi r squared. You got that, times 2. But then if you cut this straight down the side and you lay it flat, the top or length of that rectangle is going to be the circumference of the circle. Let me say it again. The length of your rectangle will be the circumference of your circle. And to find circumference, you use the formula pi d. And the height of your rectangle will be the height of your cylinder. The height of the rectangle will be the height of the cylinder, which you could find by looking inside the cylinder, or you can find by looking outside the cylinder. It's usually labeled. Okay? Okay, you have common formulas for surface area, if you prefer a formula. Okay, and the formulas are cube, our side squared times 6. Rectangular prism, if you want to use a formula, okay, is 2 lengths times width, 2 lengths times height, and 2 widths times height. And there's a nice little picture. I would put it in your notes just in case. To find the surface area of a cylinder, there is a formula. 2 times pi r squared. Of course, pi r squared is the formula for a circle, top and bottom. And then pi d is the circumference formula times the height of the cylinder will give you the rectangle that makes up the main base of the cylinder, or the main part. And then lastly, of course, the sphere. The sphere is 4 pi r squared. You won't use that too much, but it is the surface area. If you wanted to find the surface area of the Earth and you knew the radius, you could actually use this formula and take 4 times pi times whatever that radius was squared, and you could find the surface area. If you wanted to find the hemisphere, like the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere, you would just take this and divide it by 2, and you would have it. Well, thanks a lot, and have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.